3 months ago, I watched a man in a Chevrolet dealer service waiting room get handed a piece of paper with $17,200 written on it. He stared at it for about 30 seconds, then asked if the number was right. The service advisor said yes. The man nodded slowly, folded the paper, and asked how soon they could start. He didn't ask what a second quote might look like. He didn't ask whether his battery was actually covered under warranty. He didn't ask whether the number was for a new pack, a recertified pack, or something else entirely. He just nodded. I was there getting an oil change. I almost said something. I didn't. I came home and spent the next 4 hours on the phone instead. The electric vehicle battery replacement cost conversation in this country is being had almost entirely by people who have never actually priced the job. Consumer forums repeat the $17,000 figure as if it's a fixed law of physics. YouTube comment sections are full of people who heard a number from a friend who heard it from a dealer who quoted them for a new OEM pack without mentioning that 3 other categories of solution exist at dramatically lower price points. The spread between the cheapest legitimate EV battery replacement and the most expensive one isn't a few $100s. It isn't even a couple of thousand. On the exact same vehicle with the exact same diagnosed problem, the spread I found across 10 shops was $12,400. That's not a rounding error. That's a used car. The car I used for every quote was a 2021 Chevrolet Bolt EV with a 65 kilowatt-hour battery pack, one of the most common EVs on American roads, and one of the most frequently cited when used EV buyers ask about long-term ownership risk. I gave every shop an identical scenario. Battery degraded to 65% of original capacity, real-world range dropped from 259 miles to approximately 168 miles, car otherwise in good mechanical condition. Full replacement cost, parts and labor, out the door. Same car, same diagnostic. 10 shops, 3 categories. Hit that like button and subscribe for more honest automotive insights based on actual data. Before the quotes make sense, the chemistry has to make sense, because the chemistry is what every shop is selling you something about, whether they say so or not. An EV battery pack isn't a single unit. The 2021 Bolt EV contains 288 individual lithium-ion cells arranged into 10 modules, housed in a 65 kilowatt-hour aluminum pack that runs the full length of the vehicle's floor. Each cell undergoes electrochemical cycling every time the battery charges and discharges, and that cycling causes cumulative structural changes to the cell's anode lithium plating, SEI layer growth, loss of active material that permanently reduce the cell's capacity to hold charge. This is called calendar aging and cycle aging, and both happen simultaneously regardless of how carefully you drive. Recurrent Auto, which tracks battery health data across more than 15,000 active EVs in the United States, found that the average Bolt EV loses between 2 and 3% of usable capacity per year under typical mixed-use conditions. At that rate, a battery at 65% capacity represents somewhere between 12 and 17 years of normal operation. A 3-year-old Bolt with a battery at 65% isn't aging normally. Something else is happening, and that something else is almost always a combination of frequent DC fast charging, consistent full charge cycles, and prolonged exposure to high ambient temperatures. Phoenix owners with public charging habits are not having the same battery aging experience as Seattle owners who charge at home overnight to 80%. That gap in degradation rate is worth knowing before you walk into any shop, because the question of whether your battery at 68% state of health is a crisis or a minor inconvenience depends entirely on how you actually use the vehicle. The American average daily driving distance is 37 miles. At 68% of the Bolt's original range, you still have approximately 176 miles of real-world range on a full charge, which covers 4.5 average American driving days before you need to charge. If your daily commute is under 40 miles and you have access to home charging, the degradation you're experiencing may have no measurable effect on your daily life. If you're a highway driver doing 200-mile round trips on weekends, it matters. One of those people needs a battery replacement. The other might need a different conversation. The dealership quotes told a consistent story. The first Chevrolet dealer quoted $16,400 for a brand new OEM replacement pack including installation. The second dealer larger volume, more inventory quoted $14,800 for a recertified OEM pack sourced from GM's warranty return pool. When GM replaces batteries under warranty, the return packs enter a remanufacturing program, and some re-enter the dealer's supply chain at reduced cost with a 12-month warranty rather than the standard 3-year coverage on a new pack. The third dealer quoted $17,200, the highest number in my entire survey, and offered to match the $14,800 quote from dealer 2 when I mentioned it. A dealership offering to match a competitor's price for a battery replacement is telling you the $17,200 was not their floor. Their floor is wherever you stop negotiating. Dealership average across 3 quotes: $16,133. Labor within that figure, based on a Bolt EV battery R&R, time of 6 to 10 hours, at dealer labor rates of $175 to $225 per hour, accounted for between $1,200 and $2,200. The remaining $14,000 to $15,000 was the pack. Hit that like button and subscribe for more honest automotive insights based on independent EV specialists are operating in a supply chain the dealership system would rather you didn't know about. LG Energy Solution, Samsung SDI, and SK on the Korean manufacturers supplying lithium-ion cells to GM, Hyundai, Ford, and others also supply cells to the aftermarket. An aftermarket pack built to Bolt EV specifications using cells from those manufacturers carries the same electrochemical fundamentals as the OEM pack. What it doesn't carry is the GM brand certification or the GM warranty backing. The first independent specialist I called quoted $10,500 for a new aftermarket pack with a 12-month parts warranty and 18 months on labor. The technician had spent 6 years as a GM-certified EV tech before going independent. The second quoted $11,200 for a Grade A remanufactured pack using original GM module housings with replaced cells and a recalibrated battery management system. The third quoted $8,900, sourcing low-mileage packs from totaled EVs where the battery sustained no damage, fully inspected and cycle-tested, 90-day warranty. Independent specialist average, $10,200, $6,000 less than the dealership average for a job that a former GM-certified EV technician is executing. Battery rebuilders are the category nobody mentions in the $17,000 conversation, and they represent the most technically interesting option and the most variable outcome. Rebuilders don't replace the pack. They open it, test every module individually, identify the cells responsible for the degradation, replace those specific cells with chemically matched units, rebalance the entire pack, and recalibrate the battery management system before reinstallation. The first rebuilder quoted $4,800 for a partial rebuild, targeting the degraded module's expected outcome, 85 to 90% of original capacity restored. The second quoted $6,200 for a full cell replacement across all 10 modules with a 2-year warranty. The third quoted $5,500 for a hybrid approach. Rebuilder average, $5,500, $11,633 less than the dealership average. The rebuilder model is viable because EV battery degradation is not uniform. In a pack at 65% overall state of health, Recurrent Auto's module-level data consistently shows that 10 to 20% of modules account for the majority of capacity loss. Replace those modules with precisely resistance-matched cells, recalibrate the BMS, and the pack performs at 85 to 95% of original, not because the other cells were ignored, but because the BMS was no longer throttling the entire pack to protect the weakest ones. The risk is the word precisely. Cell matching requires measuring the internal resistance of each replacement cell and pairing it within a tight tolerance of its neighbors, typically plus or minus 2%. A rebuilder who does this correctly gives you a thermally stable, balanced pack. A rebuilder who sources cells from mixed batches and installs them without resistance matching gives you accelerated thermal variation between cells, which the BMS interprets as degradation, which means you'll be back inside 18 months with the same problem. Before you hand your car to a rebuilder, ask for their cell matching tolerance specification. Ask for the manufacturer and chemistry of their replacement cells. Ask to see documentation of the charge-discharge cycle test performed on your pack before reinstallation. If those questions produce vague answers, the $12,400 spread you just learned about is not going to save you. The man in the waiting room who folded the paper and nodded, here's what he didn't know and what you now do. Most EV batteries are warrantied by the manufacturer to retain at least 70% of original capacity for 8 years or 100,000 miles at the federal minimum. California and 16 states following California Air Resources Board standards, including New York, Massachusetts, Oregon, Washington, and Colorado, require 10 years or 150,000 miles. If that man's Bolt was purchased in any of those 17 states and the battery was below 70%, he was owed a replacement under warranty at no cost. The dealer was not required to tell him that before accepting payment. Beyond the capacity warranty, manufacturers separately warrant the battery against defects in materials and workmanship for the same term, meaning a battery that reached 65% capacity due to a cell manufacturing defect rather than normal use is potentially a warranty claim at any state of health number, and the diagnostic to distinguish between the two is a detailed module-level analysis that a dealership can perform and will only perform if you specifically ask for it. $12,400. Same car, same diagnostic, 10 shops. The man in the waiting room nodded at $17,200. Whatever he paid, whatever he drives now, the number that should have been on that paper if he'd walked in knowing what you know after watching this was somewhere between $4,800 and $10,500, depending on how long he planned to keep the car, depending on which shop he chose, depending on whether he asked the right 4 questions before handing over the keys. None of that is complicated. All of it was available to him before he sat down. He just didn't know to look for it. Hit that like button and subscribe for more honest automotive insights based on actual data.